Good morning, PT on Ice Daily Show. Happy Monday morning. Hope your week is off to a good start so far. My name is Alan. I'll be your host today, COO of Ice, faculty member in our fitness athlete division, coming at you today talking about Q&A Monday. So we asked for some questions over the weekend on Instagram and Facebook. Grabbed a couple. Actually grabbed two. I'm going to answer one today on Q&A Monday, and then the other one is fitness athlete related. So I'll answer that one. I'm going to hop on Friday, scrap my original topic, and answer that one on Friday related to the functional movement screen. Some announcements before we get started. Hope you all saw what was going on out in New Hampshire for Rising Tide. It's had some folks climbing mountains in 34 degrees, snow and ice. Looked brutal. Looked a lot of suffering. Looked like a lot of fun. So hopefully you saw Ice social media, APHPT social media for Rising Tide this past weekend. Coming up this weekend, two different cervical courses, both full, unfortunately. Zach Morgan's going to be down near Dallas, Texas for cervical spine management. Jeff will be up in Madison, Wisconsin for cervical spine management. If you want to catch that course, your last chance of the year is in Milwaukee, November 9th and 10th with Jeff, yours truly, and Rachel Selena will be up in Milwaukee. We do that course every year. So if you want to work on neck pain, headaches, cervical thrust manipulation, that is your last chance of the year for cervical spine management. Coming up in 2 weeks, we've got Jeff at his home base in Fort Collins for lumbar spine management. That course almost sold out. And then we also have persistent pain management starting online next week with Justin Dunaway, 8 weeks online. And then we have our telehealth course, the first cohort of telehealth, building your digital practice with Rob Vining, starting October 30th. Very first cohort. That one has 4 seats left. We're keeping the first cohort nice and intimate. Let Rob get one under his belt before we flood him too much. So that's what's going on in the next couple of weeks leading up to the holidays. So Q&A Monday, got a question from Sarah Grace. What is the number one thing, the number one piece of advice you would give to a physical therapy student to survive or thrive physical therapy school? Boy, where to start, man, oh man. I would say, I have a couple things to say. The main thing I would say is take advantage of your time. I think PT school, certainly busy, certainly a lot going on with lecture, labs, clinical rotations, but really take advantage of your time. Make the most of your time. There are a lot of days I remember where class was just coming and taking an exam, and then we were done for the day. And all those days like that, all those short lab practical days, exam days, things like that, presentation days, where there was a lot of gap time, I wish I could have taken more advantage of that time in multiple different ways. I wish I would have worked on my fitness sooner for sure, but I also wish I would have done some other stuff with that extra time. I think once students get into physical therapy school, and I was no different, we stop observing. We do all those observation hours, we get into PT school, and we stop observing, when really what a great time is you're learning new skills, you're learning new material, you're learning new theories to go and observe aside from your mandatory clinical rotations, and make the most of that time. Spend time observing different practice settings. Spend time observing with a PT who works in a CrossFit gym, a PT who works specialized in hand and wrist, a PT who is specialized in working with patients in the ICU. We have a lot of subspecialties that you really don't get exposed to a lot in school that you can still take advantage of if you spend that gap time observing. Certainly a lot of free time too between semesters and over holiday breaks. That time was spent often doing stuff besides physical therapy, but a lot of free time there to work on observing other specialties and just learning as much as we can and seeing how it relates to what we learn and are currently learning in school. Work on your fitness. Take advantage of that time to use the free gym on campus. Most schools have a really nice gym, a rec center. Take advantage of that time. Take advantage of your time too with your professors. they're a wealth of knowledge, and if you can get them on their free time and get them talking about their passion, maybe not just what they are teaching you in lecture and showing you in lab, but getting to know their research passions, maybe even observing with them in their clinical practice. Most faculty members are going to be practicing maybe one day a week. Getting to follow them and watch them and see how they practice can really tie together and give you a better picture of how they practice as a whole and what they're teaching you in lecture and in lab in school. I think it's really cool. Mitch and I, one of our orthopedics professors, Dr. Ryan Bean, now comes to CrossFit and works out with us at CrossFit. And I wish I would have taken more advantage of time to observe with him in clinic and learn from him. He has a big specialty in concussion rehabilitation and some vestibular and cervical knowledge as well. He taught a little bit of that in school, but was limited by time and what has to happen in the curriculum. And I wish I had taken more time in school just to watch him practice. He still practices clinically. I think I would have learned a lot. He's still somebody that I send patients to, refer patients to when they come in with very serious concussion or vestibular symptoms. I wish I had taken more advantage of that time in school that I had, and now that I don't have as a practicing clinician to get to know him better, get to know his practice a little bit better, and learn from him, especially his subspecialty, a lot more. Time-wise as well, I think take it easy. I think we get caught up with grades a lot, which makes sense. A lot of programs have, a B minus average required to pass the class. But that being said, I was certainly the person that was trying to max out every test, every class, and at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. So don't stress out too much about memorizing things and getting a perfect grade and spending all of your time studying it in a book. Certainly, you need to do that a little bit for board exams, especially at the end of school, and for exams and things like that. But spending 8 hours in class and then going home and studying for another 8 hours to get that A+ ultimately means nothing if you could maybe study a few less hours and still get an A- or a B+ and spend that time observing or working on your fitness or doing something, and maybe your school has a pro bono clinic and utilizing that time a little bit better. So don't stress out too much with the time that you have available. And then my third point here would be kind of just toe the line. Don't rock the boat. I was definitely the student in school that spent, maybe, speaking of time, too much of my time trying to rock the boat and change things and radically upset the curriculum and tell everybody about all the brand new research that showed what was being taught in class and in lab was maybe a little bit outdated, and ultimately it got me nowhere and not a good use of my time. Butted heads a little bit with some faculty members as well. If I could go back, I would definitely not do that. We have to understand that faculty members are preparing you to take your board exams and pass your clinical rotations and make you an entry-level physical therapist. And some programs do a really good job of incorporating cutting-edge research right from the papers that come out maybe that week, that month, and talking about them, or at least discussing them, maybe a journal club. But the goal is what's on that test. That's how they keep their accreditation. Keeping their accreditation keeps them in business and teaching, and doesn't always reflect current practice, but butting heads with them and creating a hostile learning environment between faculty and students is never the way to go. So don't spend your time on worrying about the little stuff like that, but spend it more productively observing with those faculty members, learning what their research interests are. Getting involved in research is another great way to spend time in school. If you haven't looked into a graduate student research position or whatever it may be called at your school, definitely look into it, and look outside of the physical therapy department as well. If you're going to be spending your time and maybe the physical therapy faculty don't have any more research assistantships, don't be afraid to look into the other allied health programs on campus. I spent my time in grad school actually as a grad student research assistant for the nursing department, working for a program for veterans to take those with medical training, Army medics, Navy corpsmen, Air Force medics, mix, and taking the training they had in the military and incorporating that into credit to get an accelerated Bachelor's of Science in Nursing. So I helped get that program off the ground and keep it funded. And that was a lot of fun. That was very rewarding. Got a lot of experience doing research, got a lot of experience doing grant writing and becoming very comfortable with those aspects of research, which could go on to translate if you're interested in maybe pursuing a PhD in physical therapy or another topic, or just want that experience under your belt. Definitely becoming very comfortable with using programs like SPSS and reading research. I have that position with the nursing department to thank a lot for how easily I'm able to not only find research but process research and incorporate it into practice and share it all with you through social media, through our Instagram and Facebook here at ICE, and then through Hump Day Hustling as well. So look into those grad student research positions. Talk to the faculty members in the physical therapy department or even other departments about what sort of research is going on, something that might interest you that you could pursue over the course of your 1 or 2 years on campus, and really get dialed into research that will make you a much, much better clinician if you're able to quickly assess and critically reason about the research that comes out and then decide to incorporate it into practice or not. That will certainly help you on the clinician side as well. So in conclusion, just use your time more wisely. There's a lot of time, especially if you're a full-time student and you're not working, or maybe you're just working part-time on the weekends, or you have a flexible work schedule. Use that time very wisely. Use those times when you get out of class early, or the weather's bad and class is canceled, or all class consists of is just showing up to take an exam. Use that extra time wisely. Work on your own fitness, work on your own health, observe with clinicians that have specialties in the nearby area that you're interested in. Work with your faculty members on research, observing with them, seeing how they practice, and spend a little bit less time studying and more time on that other stuff. And then really, when the NPTE comes, ramp up your studying, then pass that board exam and join us out here as a full-fledged clinician. So hope that helps. There's a million different tip websites on there about how to survive PT school, and 1,800 tips to survive PT school, and all those sort of blog articles out there. But those are the things that, in my reflection on being a relatively new grad a couple years ago, I would change if I could about practice. Okay, that's all I got for you. Speaking of research, don't forget to go to ptionice.com, scroll to the bottom, sign up for Hump Day Hustling. That's our free email newsletter every Wednesday morning. We send you the top 5 research articles and social media posts that the ICE faculty think are worth your time. 100% free. We never spam you. We only use your email for Hump Day Hustling. If you are interested in getting plugged in a little bit more with topics across physical therapy, we have Virtual ICE, our online mentorship group, meets every Tuesday evening. We talk about a different topic with an ICE faculty member, have some discussion, and that's every single Tuesday, 52 Tuesdays a year. If you are a practicing clinician, that's worth 24 CEUs if you stick with it for a whole year. No commitment, $29 a month. So check out Hump Day Hustling, that's free. Check out Virtual ICE, very cheap way to stay plugged into updates and practice and current research. You can find both of those on ptionice.com. If you are like me, you are about to hit 20.2 again later this afternoon. I've been practicing my double unders over this weekend. Spent about 2.5 hours Saturday night with some coaching. Feel like at least Saturday night I had a better handle on it, so hoping to get some more reps in and redo 20.2. Didn't get too far into it if you saw my Instagram post, so not like I chewed through a whole lot of volume that's making me not want to try it again. Didn't get too far into it, so I'm going to tackle that. I hope you all have a great Monday. I'll see you all again Friday. We'll talk about the functional movement screen and answer another question here on The Daily Show. Have a great day. Have a great week. See you all Friday.
Hey, thanks for tuning in to the PT on Ice Daily Show. If you enjoyed this content, head on over to iTunes and leave us a review. And be sure to check us out on Facebook and Instagram at the Institute of Clinical Excellence. If you're interested in getting plugged into more ICE content on a weekly basis while earning CEUs from home, check out our Virtual ICE online mentorship program at ptionice.com. While you're there, sign up for our Hump Day Hustling newsletter for a free email every Wednesday morning with our top 5 research articles and social media posts that we think are worth reading. Head over to ptionice.com and scroll to the bottom of the page to sign up.